What is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. It is still Saturday, February the 17th, 2018, and we are here today with some WWE news, some big news that we want to talk about today, which is the pay-per-view calendar is seeing major changes being made to it. Rob Gronkowski of the Patriots possibly coming to the WWE. We're going to talk about that, and Ric Flair wants to talk about a Modern Day Four Horsemen. He gives his four choices, and I give you mine right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, baby. The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me here again today on Sledgehammer TV for the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me, as always, is my trusty companion, my loyal tag team partner, and the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all of the world, Blue the Snowball, and we are here with your WWE Weekend Update, and we are going to cover a bunch of the topics that we talked about at the opening of this broadcast. But first, before we get into anything, I want to make sure each and every one of you make the conscientious decision to be awesome today. And how can you be awesome? By joining the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show family. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button for me right now. Let us get to 500 before the end of this weekend, and the march to 1K continues as we want to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, hopefully by the end of the month. It is not beyond my reach. It's not too much to ask for, I think. All I need to accomplish this is your help. If you are not part of this crew, hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that notification bell so you do not miss a beat and you do not miss a thing that goes on here on this channel. And then like this video, smash that thumbs up as hard as you can, with as much force as you could muster. I promise I will not tell anybody that you hit it as hard as you did. We will keep that a secret between you and me. And then I want you guys to share this video with all of your wrestling friends all over the globe, as we are on our way to take over the world of professional wrestling right here on YouTube. I would appreciate it if you would do all of those things. And now that we got all that out of the way, let's talk about the news. And first, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Wrestling Inc. had an article which highlighted the fact that the Nature Boy Ric Flair was having an interview somewhere and was addressed with the question of if he were to make a Modern Day Four Horsemen, who would his choices be to be the members of that elite group? A tradition of excellence that should be carried on by a team that would be like no other. And this guy is the leader of every incarnation of the Four Horsemen you can ever come up with. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the one with Mongo McMichael and Benoit and Malenko, you're talking about the classic with Ole, Arn, and Tully. Ric Flair is the flag bearer of the Four Horsemen. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. However, his decision on his choices here absolutely leave me a little bit flabbergasted. And I feel like maybe he's been poisoned a little bit too much by the WWE agenda, because there is absolutely no reason on earth that I could see him wanting to add guys like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to his Four Horsemen. Those were two of his choices. His very first choice was Dolph Ziggler, which I guess I can kind of get it. He's got that swagger to him. He could definitely come off as a horseman. Reigns and Rollins, definitely not. Maybe in their in-ring ability, they can come off as horsemen. Maybe Roman in that enforcer type of role is probably what Rick is thinking. And Randy Orton, Ric Flair's just got a thing for Randy Orton. Just like he's got a thing for Triple H and Shawn Michaels. These guys all have this very close bond, and being in Evolution together, Ric Flair has a kinship with Randy, and he's always seen Randy as I think the second coming of himself. Even though now he's settled down and he's all married up and everything, he's considered to be in this Four Horsemen if Ric Flair had his way. Ziggler, Rollins, Reigns, and Orton. And I just do not agree with that. And I mean, who am I to disagree with the head of the Four Horsemen? I mean, those are his choices. If it happened, that would be what would happen, right? But I'm going to give you mine. Because it's fun. And it's a good talking point. A lot of people are talking about it since he's made this proclamation on this whatever interview show he was on this past weekend. And I'm going to give you guys a first look at my choice for the Elite. Check this out. This is my pick for a modern day Four Horsemen. You would have Bobby Roode. You would have Samoa Joe, the most destructive force in all of pro wrestling, and the tag team super specialists. A callback to the old day. They already look and feel like Arn and Tully when you watch them, so why wouldn't they automatically fit if you wanted to make a Four Horsemen stable? This is what I got for you guys. This is a tradition of excellence. The gloriousness of Bobby Roode, the destructive power of Samoa Joe, and the tag team expertise of the Revival. There's your Four Horsemen for modern day. How modern day is Randy Orton? Randy Orton's like 20 years deep into his career, it feels like. Feels like he's been here forever. He's not very modern, if you ask me. And then you had this guy right here as the manager, and hey, you're really on to something, eh? I'm getting a little out of hand here. I'm just kidding over there. Obviously, you would put Ric Flair at the head of this thing, and this would be one of the greatest factions you would ever see. Can't you imagine these guys just absolutely tearing it up, destroying the WWE roster, every single babyface going down, one after the other? This formation of horsemen taking on a guy like John Cena in that Dusty Rhodes kind of role, it would be absolutely fantastic. And I pick these guys. Pokemons, I choose you. However you want to phrase it, these are the modern day Four Horsemen as chosen by Nick Nightmare. The official selections for Sledgehammer TV. So there you go. We had a little bit of fun there. We got that out of the way. It's just, I couldn't not address that. And I did that picture. I photoshopped myself a nice little Four Horsemen thing, and I got it up here for you guys to see. And I want to know what you guys think. And I want to know who you would put in your Four Horsemen. So let me know right down below. I'm not eligible, so don't put me down there as much as you would like to. I know you want me in your Four Horsemen, or at least to manage your Four Horsemen, but I'm sorry. I am not eligible. I want to know legit. Who would you pick? Active main roster, NXT, wherever you want to pull them from. Let me know your four choices for Ric Flair to lead a new Four Horsemen to a tradition of excellence. I absolutely am looking forward to seeing everybody's choices and everybody's selections, because it's an opinion piece, you know what I mean? Everybody's got their own opinions, everybody's got their favorites. Maybe you guys don't like that I put the Revival in there, maybe none of you guys think Bobby Roode is as glorious as he really is, but he is my choice, and let me know your choices down below, like I said. And now, let's move on with the next story, which is a story that is absolutely pissing me off, only because I do not like when the WWE brings in people from the outside, like a Ronda Rousey, that we're going to talk about in an episode later on today or maybe tomorrow. And I see Rob Gronkowski in that same light. Does he have marketability? Yes. Does he have a money-making factor? Is he a draw? Absolutely. Does he belong in a WWE ring? I don't think so. Rob Gronkowski, following their loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in the last Super Bowl just last weekend, the Patriots and Rob Gronkowski might be done. Rob Gronkowski and football might be done. And the reason why he might be done with football is because his body's all banged up and he doesn't know how much longer he can do the things that are required for you to be a physically capable football player. If that is already the launch point of why he's leaving pro football, why are we considering bringing him into wrestling? How good is he going to be able to perform if his body's already all jacked up from the NFL? Come on. It doesn't really make much sense. How much is he going to be able to lend to a performance in the ring? Sure, he's buddies with Mojo Rawley. What, are you going to bring him in to be a mouthpiece? You're going to bring him in just to pop the rating? Rob Gronkowski in the ring? You're going to call him the Gronk? Right? We're going to make t-shirts? I understand it. I understand it from a business point of view. But when you're looking at the wrestling that we're getting and you're thinking about how they're booking things, Rob Gronkowski is going to be top priority level shit when it comes to WWE creative. He's going to be featured heavily because of who he is and all of the accolades he brings with him from a sport that has absolutely nothing to do with professional wrestling. I understand that there are a lot of ex-pro football athletes that transition to the world of professional wrestling following some sort of an injury or some sort of concussion thing. I get it. But in this scenario, when he's had ACL problems, MCL problems, all kinds of... And we're talking about a guy that's had a significant NFL career. He wasn't in the NFL 2 or 3 years, got a little banged up, and decided to move on and do something else to preserve his health and preserve his career and move forward. This is a guy that's had a significant run. He's got significant damage done, and I don't think he is going to be a valued member of the roster. We're hearing reports that the Performance Center is full to capacity right now. And you don't think for 1 minute they'd make way for Rob Gronkowski if he actually decides this is what he wants to do? I didn't really care for his involvement in the WrestleMania Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I don't care about his friendship with Mojo Rawley. I just don't see it being a good decision. I don't see it being a good idea. These type of athletes often come in with that chip on their shoulder that is undeserved, and he's probably going to overcompensate, maybe try to, overdo it. He's going to be too strong. He's not going to know how to perform, and it's going to suffer in the show, and it's going to actually make all of the creative just go even worse than it already is. Because once they get a celebrity, that's what the show becomes all about. And I don't want to really see it. I don't really care one way or the other. They're going to do what they want, and I'm sure they're just salivating at the prospect of Rob Gronkowski coming to be part of the WWE's main roster. I am not. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not a Patriots fan. It doesn't have anything to do with that. If you look at the facts and you read the reasoning behind it, it doesn't make sense to bring a banged up pro football player into a wrestling ring to do what? To do what exactly? I don't get it. I don't enjoy these type of signings. I feel like they just put everything out of whack and they turn all the WWE's attention onto that particular thing, and it just ruins everything for me. So, hopefully it doesn't go down. If it does, maybe it might not be as bad as I'm making it out to be. Things could be changing for the better. We know Vince McMahon is reining back on his control, and Triple H and some of the other people, Ryan Ward, are getting more of a say on what's going on. So maybe it'll all be for the best at the end. But just as of right now, as I'm reading the announcements today, I do not want to see Rob Gronkowski in a WWE ring. Even if you just go back and watch his interactions when they're giving him the championship belt, or when he's hanging out with Ric Flair in the back, and how I don't know, there's just something I'm not feeling about it, and maybe I just have to be more exposed to it. I'm not against it per se. I just don't really care whether we see it or not, and hopefully we don't. That's that on the Gronk. And then finally, we're going to wrap up today with the discussion on the WWE's pay-per-view schedules going forward after WrestleMania. Everybody's been talking about it all week. I have been waiting to even bring it up because I wanted to see if for sure it was happening, what the reasonings behind it are, and what the plans going forward are truly going to be. And it seems to me that the WWE is doing away with splitting up the pay-per-views between brands. Now, this does not necessarily mean that the brand split doesn't matter. It does not mean that they are going to dissolve the brand split whatsoever. What it means is that going into every month, each show will be building around particular matches that will be featured at that month's pay-per-view. What I don't really like about it is the fact that it's going to take away from the specialness of the Big Four. They added Money in the Bank this year to supposedly be a dual-branded pay-per-view. That doesn't matter anymore since they're all going to be dual-branded. But when they did that, we all had a feeling like Money in the Bank now has the essence of one of the Big Four, so now it's kind of like the Big Five. By having Raw and SmackDown featured at those events and not at the minor B-level events, it made them feel more special. It made it feel more like the grand spectacle that the WWE wants you to believe that it is. But now by making this move, essentially every pay-per-view is WrestleMania. Every pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. Every pay-per-view is has the chance for Raw superstars to take on SmackDown superstars. But I don't think that's where they're going with it. I think, Raw will have their storylines and SmackDown will have their storylines, and they will all be going along parallel and culminating at each one of these pay-per-views. Hopefully it all makes sense, because we know that that's really the problem when it's talking about storylines, and that's the reason why you're not having people buy into any of your pay-per-views. It's not the fact that it's a brand split type of a deal. It's not that SmackDown Live can't bring in the ratings by themselves. You going to say that about Monday Night Raw? I don't think so. Monday Night Raw features the premier talent in all of professional wrestling, and you can't draw a rating on a Raw-specific pay-per-view. You got Brock Lesnar as your World Heavyweight Champion. Universal Champion, rather. You can't get people to watch that show because of the way you write the shows, not because of the way people feel. You know what I mean? You're thinking, fans are brand loyal? No, fans watch everything. Fans are going to watch everything, and they're going to come to the show if you give them something to come and see. If you want to keep giving us the same shows every single week, nobody's going to give a shit. You want to give us Jinder Mahal as the WWE Champion. You want to give us the New Day on a run that never ends with the Tag Team Championships, only to break Demolition's record. You want to give us a rinse and repeat women's division. You want to give us a non-existent cruiserweight division. And then you wonder why nobody's coming out to the shows. I don't agree with this move, especially if it's going to increase the time on each one of these shows. None of these shows need to go over 3 hours, even if you're going to have matches from both shows. Just organize it well. Pick the important matches. Maybe it'll be better. Maybe not. There is the chance for the lower level members of the card to just be pushed to the side, as all the top matches from both brands are going to be the ones that are featured on all of these pay-per-views. But I don't see the reason to extend the shows. It's not necessary. I've heard a lot of good points on the matter, and the best point I have heard is that we've already got enough wrestling all week long. We got 3 hours on Monday. You got 2 hours of SmackDown, plus another hour between the Mixed Match Challenge and 205 Live on Tuesday. You got NXT on Wednesday. Then if you go outside the WWE, you got TNA, Impact on Thursday. You got all the stuff you want to watch online from Ring of Honor and the NWA and whatever it is that floats your boat. You got all kinds of wrestling all over the place, 24 hours a day on the network, and you want to add another hour to each pay-per-view that doesn't need it. Why does Extreme Rules need another hour? It doesn't. It just needs to be booked properly. Let's go over this and all the changes that have been made. This is the official released statement from WWE.com. After WrestleMania, you will get the best of both brands, Raw and SmackDown Live, every month on pay-per-view. Catch every event streaming live on the award-winning WWE Network. Starting with WrestleMania 34 on April the 8th. Then we are going to have Backlash on May 6th, Money in the Bank June 17th, Extreme Rules July 15th, SummerSlam August 19th, Hell in a Cell September 16th. That's my birthday. Holy cow, now my birthday's going to be hell. TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, October 21st, which is my brother's birthday. Look at that. And then Survivor Series, November the 18th, which is somebody's birthday somewhere. And the WWE Clash of Champions, December the 16th, 2018. The changes that have been made to the original pay-per-view schedule. Previously, the Payback show was scheduled to be on May 27th, but it has been removed altogether. Extreme Rules was initially scheduled to be on September 16th, but is now July 15th, with Battleground, the Raw-branded pay-per-view, being removed. Hell in a Cell, which was supposed to be SmackDown, was on September 30th and has now been moved 2 weeks ahead to September the 16th. It is going to change the landscape of WWE pay-per-view. It is not necessarily the best move that they've made. I do actually enjoy having the separate pay-per-views. I like each brand having a chance to shine on its own, free of the other one, but the WWE never truly took this brand split seriously, and they never really, drew the lines and made set rules, and it made it nonsensical when we seen at Survivor Series the brand warfare. They don't give a shit about the brand split. This is even more proof of that. I don't see it doing that much damage, but I don't see it doing any good to the show. It's just going to make it a little bit harder to get through if the stories that they're telling us are not compelling and the matchups we're getting are not the ones we want to see. Then it just doesn't matter if you give us a 2-hour show every other week, a 10-hour show once a year. You got to give us a good show. Then you could put on 5 hours and it won't exhaust the crowd. Give us a great 5-hour show that we don't even feel the time move. But when the first 3 hours move like dog shit and then the last 2 hours pick up steam and you're exhausted from sitting there all day, nobody wants to buy a ticket to your show. So get your show in order and you won't have to be making ridiculous moves like this that are essentially changing the landscape of everything we've come to be used to as wrestling fans, and that I actually did enjoy. So another thing going down the tubes as the brand-specific pay-per-views are out the window, at least for the rest of 2018. That's what I got for you guys here today. We have the Ronda Rousey special coming at you. I got all the news that I could grab from each and every spot that I could on Ronda Rousey. We're going to wrap it up in a nice little package and send it to you guys, probably dropping sometime tomorrow, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, depending on my day. I had a very interesting week. I had 2 teeth ripped right out of my mouth. It's not a fun time. I don't recommend any one of you do it. I had a ridiculous toothache, and it ended up leading me to the dentist, which ended up leading me to the surgeon, which ended up leading me to terror. Absolutely terrifying week for me. I'm only now starting to come around, which is why we're firing out videos today as fast as we can, making up for the time that I spent away trying to recuperate this ridiculous situation, which I don't even want to talk about anymore. So, don't forget, everybody, to be awesome today. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so for me, as I asked you to do at the beginning of the show. And if you didn't have that minute, then you have that minute right now, and I'll wait. I hope you did it. There you go. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone, the World Heavyweight Champion of microphones. Make sure you check the channel for all of your reviews. The Mixed Match Challenge review is up. Raw, SmackDown, everything you need for your pro wrestling heart is here to fulfill your wishes on Sledgehammer TV, right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on the newest, fastest wrestling podcast in all of YouTube, baby! The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Rock and roll, you guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you later on this weekend for more news, rumors, and highlights from the world of professional wrestling. Good night.